Yo, what's up guys? So in today's video we got so much to go ahead and check out. We've got a completely new archetype, we've got a new boss monster for them as well, plus we've got a new queen and a new chaos ruler, so we've got like everything over here in today's video. So if you're excited about new cards, drop a like on this video because there's going to be some really cool cards here. And on top of that, I know a lot of you guys have been talking about Final Fantasy VII. It's kind of like a game that a lot of us played when we grew up. If you guys want to check out my playthrough, I'll pin it down below, but I started playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it is really good, and again, I'll pin it down below. But we're here for new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. But I also want to show off an announcement real quick of the new upgraded rarity. It's the first look at these new rarity cards, but we'll get into that in a moment, because I know some of you guys just want the new cards. So let's go ahead and check out the new archetype, which is going to be called the Dragmas. So let's go ahead and check them out. So here is one of the newer cards. It's going to be a level 4 light, 1500 attack and defense points, and it is named Excelsia, the Dragma Saints. So it's going to be a light spellcaster, and it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. Its first effect says if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. The second effect is if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Dragma card from your deck to your hand except for herself, and then also you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. And then the third effect is it cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. I like this effect that when it's normal or special summon you can add, but you cannot even special summon from the extra deck this turn. But maybe it's not that bad when we check out the rest of the archetype. Next up we have Theo the Dragma Iron Hammer over here. So here is his artwork. So he's got 1800 attack, 1500 defense points, and he's going to be a light spellcaster as well. And it says you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first effect is if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so this is like an anti-meta-ish deck, I guess. It looks like it at least. The second effect is it can't be destroyed by battle with a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. So the third effect is you can target one face-up monster that was special summoned from the extra deck until the end of this turn. This card gains 600 attack, and if it does, that target loses 600 attack. Okay, so boosting him up and reducing something else, and on top of that, can't be destroyed by battle with one. I'm sure this one won't be destroyed by card effects, but this is some extra deck hate over here. Next up, we have Adin the Dragma Oracle. Yo, you know what we need with all these anti-extra deck cards? Throw in Extravagance as a reprint, and you got a lot of people excited. But anyways, and in the Dragma Oracle, here is the picture of this guy over here. So he's got 1000 attack, 1800 defense points, and he's going to be another light spellcaster. And it says you can only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first effect is if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can just special summon this card from your hand. The second effect is it can't be destroyed by battle with a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. The third effect is if this card is on the field is destroyed by battle by card effect, you get to special summon one Dragma monster from your deck except for himself. Okay. So you already have a floater, but floaters are just so outdated in Yu-Gi-Oh for the most part. But it does have that effect where it can't be destroyed by battle, which means they'll just bounce it back with a lot of different effects. But nonetheless, we have Fleur de Lis the Dragma Knight over here, and here's the zoomed up picture on this guy over here. He looks pretty cool. Looks like he's from Dark Souls. Anyways, 2500 attack, 2500 defense points. All right, now we're getting to the stronger monsters for the archetype. So it says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. The first effect is during the main phase, if a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, if you control another Dragma monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That's actually really good, although you'll have to have another one. So if there's another one that can special summon for really easy as a quick effect, because remember, you can just special summon the cards, but not as a quick effect. I wish they had the effects if your opponent special summons, you could special summon another one too. I guess this one kind of allows you to do it, but again, you just have to have another one for this effect to actually be very good. But the second effect is when your Dragma monster declares an attack, you can make all Dragma monsters you control gain 500 attack. Okay, so it boosts up all of them, which is kind of nice over here. But again, still nothing that makes the deck super OP against the extra deck to the point where like they're scared to match up against this. Next up, we have Maximus Dragma. So it's a level 8 light spellcaster effect monster, 1500 attack, 3000 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. The first effect is you can banish one fusion, synchro, exceed, or link monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. The second effect is, during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Also send 2 monsters with different names from your extra deck to the graveyard. Also, your opponent sends 2 monsters from their extra deck to the graveyard. Okay. If it was from their field, this would be so much better as a requirement. And here's a zoomed up picture on this guy. I like that artwork. That looks really cool. Although the stats on it, again, we don't really care about high defense points at the end of the day. And unfortunately, this one doesn't have the effect where it's like immune to being destroyed by battle by the extra deck, but nonetheless, it has decent stats. Next up, we have the Heart of the Dogma over here. This looks like a pretty cool card. All right, let's check it out. So level 11, Light Spellcaster, Special Summon Effect Monster. Looks like another one of their boss monsters here. Cannot be normal summon percent. Must be first be special summoned by its own effect. The first effect is you target 4 fusion, synchro, exceeds, and or link monster in either graveyard and special summon this card from your hand. If you do, banish those targets. That's pretty cool. The second part of it says, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, destroy as many opponents' attackers monsters as possible. Then inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each fusion, synchro, link, or exceed monster destroyed by this effect. Wow, that's insane. You're just gonna pop everything, do a bunch of damage. I mean, the fact that this card doesn't stop their effects is kind of unfortunate, because you know what's going to happen is your opponent literally will just negate this card outright, right? But maybe some of the spell and trap support will make it a little bit better, but I think that unfortunately, I mean, it's like I'm just going to negate that effect, right? But let's check it out. So next up, that we have Dogmatic Nation Dragon, which is the field spell card. Here's a zoomed up picture on the artwork. It does look pretty cool. Anyways, field spell, you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. The first effect is, neither player can target Dragma monsters you control with the effects of monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. The second effect is, if your Dragma monster battles an opponent's monster after damage calculation, you can destroy that opponent's monster. Wow, it's pretty good, especially with the floater, right? The third effect is, if this face-up card in the field is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can make both players send 1 monster from their extra deck to the graveyard. Oh, so it's like an extra deck destruction deck. Okay. I really wish it said that they cannot be targeted or destroyed. Then, like, via card effects. I mean, yeah, you can't be targeted, but I think that the negation with a lot of the cards is what's more important with these cards. Maybe another card will do it, though. Anyways, we next up have the Disciple of the Nadir. So it's a normal spell card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. So 1 monster from your extra to the graveyard, then add 1 Dragma monster or 1 Albus the Nihilus Filius from your deck or graveyard to your hand with attack less than or equal to the sent monsters. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Okay, so we get to kind of foolish. Maybe we'll get more utility out of the extra deck here with some of their cards when they're in the graveyard. Next up, we have Drag by Punishment, which is a normal trap card. You can only activate 1 card with its card's name per turn. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls to send 1 monster from your extra to the graveyard with an equal or higher attack, and if you do, destroy the targeted monster. Until the end of your next turn after this card resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra. Okay, so you have to send 1. I mean, I guess that's kind of good for the. I'm sure that they get some type of benefit, but at the end of the day, just to send 1, I don't know. We'll see what else they have. Dragman Encounter, normal trap card that says you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Activate 1 of these effects. Special 1 Dragman monster or 1 Albus the Nihilus Filius from your hand. Take 1 dragon, 1 Dragma monster or 1 Albus the Nihilus Filius from your graveyard and either add to your hand or special summon it. Okay, we got to check out this card. So this card looks like it's the card that we've been talking about. Oh, what was that? Was it Code Vein? That's what this card reminds me of. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that game, but anyways, that reminds me of a lot. Anyways, level 4 Dark Dragon Effect monster with 1800 attack, 0 defense points, and that's the Albus the Nihilus Filius. So 0 defense, you can only use this effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can discard 1 card, fusion, summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using this card on the field, and monsters your opponent controls as fusion material. Wow, that's really good, especially if it's easy targets. Alright, next up we have, we'll call him the Ashen Dragon. Keep it family friendly here, Kappa. Anyways, level 8 Dark Dragon Fusion Effect monster, and here is the artwork on it. That was the first card I showed you. I thought this was their main boss monster, but they got a couple other ones. But yeah, good luck trying to get that effect of the other one off. Materials are Albus the Nihilus Filius plus 1 monster with 2500 or more attack. If only it said as many monsters as you want, because then you can slap that card on the field and it'd be super anti-extra deck. But most good cards will have decent stats. It says you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect is it gains attack equal to the total original levels of the monsters used for its material for this card's fusion times 100. Unfortunately, that won't be too good for league monsters because, yeah, no level. Or exceeds. I thought this was an extra deck stopper right here. Should have just been like 500 for each one. At least, I just think that if it's an extra deck hating deck, like, let it stop everything, right? The second effect is, after this card is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, is unaffected by activated effects from any other monster that is special summoned from the extra deck. This third effect is, during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can take one dragon monster or one Albus the Nullius Filius from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon. Okay, so that's actually pretty good because during the end phase you can bring it back and then instantly go ahead and discard a card and then fusion summon to make this card again. I think that's the point. But again, I think the problem is most people will just negate this whole deck outright before it gets the chance to do anything. I mean, this card is pretty good though with this effect, but it only lasts until the end of this turn. While most decks could just OTK outright, I don't know if this deck is going to be able to OTK very fast anyways, considering that, like, one of the best cards that lets you special summon, that lets you search whatever, it doesn't allow you to go for cards in the extra deck for the rest of the turn. There's a lot of problems with this deck that I already see even before it comes out. I mean, yes, it's 100% anti-extra deck because that's what we really like in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I don't even think it does a really good job at completely destroying it. I'm curious to know what you guys think of this archetype down below because it definitely is an anti-extra deck, entire archetype. But anyways, next up, this next info over here before the extra new cards is this new rarity that was shown off. It's kind of cool that they're showing it off. It's just a newer rarity. It looks kind of nice. It's their new upgrade rarity. I'm not actually sure what they're calling it. It just says upgrades to holographic and ultimate rares, but this card doesn't look ulti to me at first glance. But then you could start seeing the little like swirls in it, if you will. This looks really clean. This is like insanely cool. Again, if you're watching this on lower quality or mobile, you might not be able to see it, but there's like grooves in the cards. That's one thing that makes ultimate rare cards look good, but these are the new versions of ultimate rares. Will we get them in the TCG? Maybe in Astral Packs? You know, hopefully. And here's like another card over here, which is one of the new Dark Lord cards. But yeah, upgraded rarity. You can see in the little stars, you can see little circles, and it looks really clean. I like this new look of the ulti rares. The new ultimate rares looking spicy, but please can we get them on the TCG pretty soon, because, you know, I feel kind of left out without them. But, yo, drop a like on this if you want to see more ulti rares come back into the TCG, just not Astral Packs. I want these rarities. Like, the OCG, they have a really cool things that they do for the players, and I would like to see us get them in the TCG as well. But anyways, next up, Grand Spiritual Art a Chirin. So it's a field spell card that says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect is negate your opponent's first monster effect that resolves each turn while you control a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense points. And during your main phase, you can reveal a spellcaster monster in your hand. If you do, add one monster with the same attribute, 1500 attack and 200 defense from your deck to your hand. And if you do, shuffle the revealed card in the deck. So it lets you cycle through cards. This is actually all for the new Charmers. This is going to be, I guess, announcement. This is the first time I think I've heard about the new Charmer structure deck. Which is kind of cool, and obviously there are reprints of all of the Charmers, but that's not that big of a deal because they're not really pricey anyways. But it's cool that Charmers are getting a structure deck, and I'll announce they're probably got a lot more newer cards coming out, and I've always thought the Charmers were really cool. But anyways, next up, finally, the card that I'm actually really excited about because I want to see how OP it is because it's supposed to be kind of like a Dragon Ruler. Anyways, so this is Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Demonic Dragon. So it is part of, I guess, the Ruler family. Anyways, level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro Effect monster, which is obviously super easy to make in, you know, Dragon Rulers, but they're kind of gone because they're all 7s. But all you need is one tuner. Anyways, 3000 attack, 2500 defense points, one tuner plus one non-tuner monster, so it's super easy to make. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. So the first effect is, if this card is Synchro Summon, you can execute the top 5 cards of your deck. And if you do, add one activated light or dark monster to your hand. Also send the rest of the graveyard. Dude, this card is going to be OP. And could you imagine this in Light Sword? Oh, dude, excavate top 5. Oh, then we go ahead and add like a JD. If you JD pop board and then go ahead and make a play with like Deshruda or whatever the case may be, make this card. you have easy access to, again, or just activating this card effect, because the rest go to the graveyard. They don't go back to the top of the deck in any order. This is an insane effect. Again, if Dragon Rulers ever come back, this Chaos Ruler card is going to make them even more OP. The second effect is you get to banish 1 light and 1 dark monster from your hand and or graveyard, except for this card. Dispel summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it if it leaves the field. So basically, it comes back again. It does get banished technically, but yo, just DDR, get it back. I mean, the effect of the card only goes off when you get to excavate the cards anyway. Oh, it only gets to exit when you synchro summon in the first place. So bringing it back is just good for the stats. There's no other effect, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty dang cool to go ahead and see that we're getting a new Chaos Ruler. Again, it would be really good with Dragon Rulers because I think that's kind of why it's there in the name. But the real question is, do you guys think Dragon Rulers could ever come back? I heard a lot of people talking about, you know, they're not even that OP anymore, but I still think that they're absolutely insane. But, like, Big Eye, honestly, is not that strong anymore. Dracosac is just not that strong anymore, too. Next up, our Queen. Let's go ahead and check out our new Queen. This is for the Rika plants. If you guys don't know, the Rikas were the snow flowers. They just changed the name up for the TCG. Anyways, rank 4, water, plant, exceed, effect monster, 2000, 2000. Materials are 2 level 4 monsters, and it says you can use each effect amongst the first and second effects with this card's name only once per turn. First effect is detach material, then target a plant, monster, or a Rika card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. The second effect is if this card is attributed to what has exceeds material, you can special summon 1 rank 5 or higher plant exceeds monster from your extract or graveyard. Then you can attach this card to it as material. What? Okay, I haven't checked these cards out, so let me. What, a 5 or higher plant exceed monster? What targets are even available with this? Does anyone even know? Okay, I gotta check this out. By the way, new carding gameplay coming out very soon. We already got the gameplay. So let's go to monster exceeds plant. What is even in this category? Actually, oh, it's Queen of the Night. Oh, it's just a little chibi version of it. Yeah, is it any? What is it? It's just 1 rank 5 or higher plant. Exceed monster. Okay. Oh, there's actually a lot of good. Oh, it's for Saint Teardrop. Okay. I was like, what are all the other? Oh wait, Aurea, right? Aurea's pretty good. I wonder if there's some random thing. Let me know, guys, if there's actually. Whoops. Oh, I started. I was like, what the heck? There's an Insector plant monster. I was gonna say that's a new card. I guess you can go for Belay of the Trees. That technically can detach itself and bring a Lone Fire back, which gets you anything anyways. So there's probably a lot of utility with this. I forgot a Black Ship of Corn. This card just. It fell off real fast. It was cool for like a week. But nonetheless, that's Rika Queen. And then lastly, this is just a quick announcement. Skull Servant is going to be coming out in Rush Duels, which means, of course, they're going to be beefing up that King of Skull Servants. Once that comes out, dude, that 4,000 tile monster is going to be insane, because why release this if you're not going to release the other support? But it'll probably be a while before we see this, but that's going to be it for all of the new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But definitely let me know, guys, what you thought about it down below. And like I said, if you guys want to catch the playthrough of Final Fantasy VII on my other channel, feel free to go ahead and check that out. I'll pin it down below. But thanks for joining, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see gameplay of any of the new stuff, and you are new here, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. Subscribe, turn on that bell, and you'll see more Yu-Gi-Oh content very soon. We'll get gameplay of course, this new anti-meta deck, but I just think it's weak. But you know what's cool? And I don't think it's weak, is this card in Life. We're going to definitely get some gameplay of that too. But if you guys want to send me in gameplay of anything that you saw, the anti-meta, you're like, yo, this anti-meta deck looking spicy, I would love to see it go off. But like, again, I feel like if you play against meta, they're going to negate the other cards before you get it off. That's just the nature of it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.